Hello, everyone. How are you guys today? My name is Nick Lawson. I'm a field recruiter here at Melton Truck Lines. Um, really, guys, today what we want to do is just talk to you a little bit about how Melton Truck Line is set up, what sets us apart from all the other companies out there. Talk to you a little bit about our culture, everything like that. Talk about pay, benefits, training, and at the end of it, we're going to have a question and answer for you guys. But yes, my name is Nick, and I've been with Melton for almost 7 years now. I'm a field recruiter here. I travel the East Coast, parts of the Southeast regions of the United States, and also parts of Florida, just traveling to different driving schools. We know we have some inexperienced and experienced drivers here on this call, so we'll be addressing both experienced and inexperienced. I'm here with my coworker, Monica.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited you guys are here joining us. So as Nick said, we're here to answer some questions and concerns in hopes that Melton might be a company suitable for your needs if you're in the need of a new career, a new job, something new and different. So I've been with Melton for 13 years, and I have joined the field recruiting team about 4 years ago. But prior to that, I started with Melton in 2008 as an associate and got promoted into a lead role. And then I became an inside recruiter, in-house recruiter, and I did that for quite a bit of time. And so the position came up and I was offered to do field recruiting, and I love Melton. I've been here for 13 years, but I love being a field recruiter, interacting and meeting new people and doing what we do. I think it's really, really powerful. So we're here to kind of just introduce you a little bit to Melton. We know that our job is not for everyone, right?
Definitely.
But we want everybody to have an open mind about their career, possibly a career path, and having options up there. I think as a CDO holder is really fantastic. It's great opportunities. It's not just a job, as I always said, it's a career.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to share with you guys everything about Melton and why we're so excited to be part of our Melton team here. So
Definitely. What we feel, everyone, is some of the things that sets us apart here is honestly just the way we treat our drivers. We want our drivers to come in and feel like family. Family atmosphere is the main thing that we preach here. When you come in, guys, you're going to meet everybody from our president on down. His name's Bob Peterson. He actually holds a CDL, used to drive before he's president of the company. So we can actually kind of relate to you guys, which is nice. He knows what it's like being out there over the road and everything, so we can relate to you. But when you come in, we're going to talk to you, and we're going to introduce ourselves to you, and we're going to address you by your name. It's never going to be a truck number. We feel that's very important. We don't want our drivers to feel like they're lost in the fleet. But Melton, we've been around since the 50s, so we're definitely a stable company. Even during a pandemic and everything, you're always going to have a job with us, which is nice. So yeah, it's like Monica said, it's definitely a career, and we're not the biggest fleet out there. We're not the smallest. Good medium-sized fleet, about 1,400 trucks in our fleet. And honestly, guys, that's really the way we like it, because we want our family atmosphere to shine. We have a lot of resources, not just for you, but also your families as well. We realize that we can't have successful drivers unless we do have support from the back. And we'll get into that later as well, just to let you know everything that we offer both you and your families. Now, Monica's going to talk a little bit about our job requirements here in Melton.
So Nick and I both travel, and some of the questions that we get asked in reference to a position here in Melton Truck Lines is like, what are some of the job requirements? And as I always explain to our trainees, we look at the overall picture. We don't focus on just one thing. So as far as the job requirements, would require to obtain 3 years of employment. If you're in school, in college, whatever you're up to in the last 3 years, to be within DOT compliance. So we look at your work history, we'll look at your safety, we'll look at background, and as far as our background, it needs to be at least 5 years old to meet that requirement. So we look at the overall picture here in Melton Truck Lines and just don't focus on one thing. And we are always looking for applicants are open-minded, that have a really positive attitude, that want to become part of something, that they're looking for a career. And sometimes those qualities in someone help out with our requirements. So like I said, we're not always just looking at the black and white. If there's potential there, we feel that you would be the right applicant and would be committed to be part of our team, we go on and beyond. Our recruiting team is phenomenal. They do a great job trying to qualify applicants. So we'll look at the 3-year work history. We started the process on that. And then once we collect your 3-year work history, Nick is going to tell you what's the next step.
Yeah, we'll talk about, she told you a little bit about the job requirements. We'll talk about kind of what the hiring process is for everyone. Basically what it is if you're interested, the first step you would do is you could do an application online, or you could actually call in to our recruiting department and speak to somebody. Our recruiters are available all weekend long as well. So we have somebody available usually till about 7 p.m. in the evening, and then on the weekends as well. So somebody is going to be available for you. But what they will do is they will talk to you, figure out what your needs are, what you're looking for, and then they will do what we call pre-qualifying, making sure that you're a good fit and that you're eligible, first of all, to work here at Melton. After you complete the application, they can even update the application, like I said, over the phone for you. They'll get your work history. They'll talk about, as she said, your background, your MVR, and they'll help update everything for you over the phone. So you don't even have to do anything. We just ask that you have your work history together, and a little bit about your criminal as well, if you have a background or something. Then after you complete the application, they send it over to a processor. One of our processors verifies everything, and then actually our recruiter will contact you. And she's the one who will do what we call a contingent job offer, and also a health questionnaire, just to make sure you're medically able, physically able to do our job. And she will do the contingent job offer, like I said, just to go through the application again to make sure that you haven't missed anything or forgot to put something on your application. After everything's verified, then she will set everything up for you as far as orientation is concerned, and talk about transportation there for you, tell you a little bit how that's set up, and what training is going to look like for you.
We're very blessed. We have a phenomenal team.
We do. We really do.
Our recruiters do an amazing job with everyone on board in our recruiting department, from our recruiters to our supervisors. I think that our team does a phenomenal job as far as helping out that applicant with even doing a phone application. How many times you get to call someone and they want to send you online right away, and let's be honest, not all of us are geeks or like technical stuff. I always get stuck sometimes. I'm like, what do I need to sign? And try to do it on your cell phone, so I think that is really, really helpful that our recruiters take the time to speak with you and talk about your needs, that you mentioned. I think that that's really important. We want to talk about your needs. We want to make sure that Melton is going to be the right fit for you and your family, that we're meeting your needs. And by being part of the Melton team, you're going to benefit from being part of our team, so our recruiting department does an amazing job on doing that, and they go on and beyond to make sure that we are here for you from point A to point B, right? Sometimes our trainees are in school and they might still have 3 weeks to go, and we get everything set up, and you already have a job even before you have your CDL. So how amazing is that? So once we do that process, your recruiters are going to take care of you from that point on. We're going to go ahead and get everything set up. Once you're approved to come and join the Melton team, our orientation, it's 8 days. It's a Monday through Monday orientation. All of the drivers, where you experienced or unexperienced drivers, go through the 8 days of orientation. During the 8 days, Melton, it's going to go ahead and provide transportation. We're going to provide lodging, breakfast, and lunch. The only thing that our our drivers are responsible for, it's just dinner. So that's the only thing that they're responsible for. We'll put you up in a really nice hotel. And during those 8 days, we're going to focus mainly on doing what our trainees, we're going to go ahead and focus with them, helping them out how to scale loads. We're going to go ahead and do a road test. We're going to do backing tests. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we help you with the paper log system, how that works. And so I think that our orientation supervisors do a really phenomenal job also on making sure that you are doing the right things out there as far as the load securement goes. And so during the 8 days, we're going to mainly focus on that and making sure that we prepare you to be very proficient at your job and that you're safe, most important than anything else.
Definitely.
Can you explain to our audience a little bit as far as what are our trainees like after the 8 days? What is the next process after that?
Yeah, after you complete the 8-day orientation, like she said, that's 8-day orientation is for inexperienced and experienced drivers. If you have less than 5 months of experience, then after that, you will go out with a road trainer for 3 to 4 months. When I say less than 5 months, I mean less than 5 months of over-the-road experience. So if you have less than 5 months of over-the-road experience, you'll have to go out with a road trainer for 3 to 4 weeks. While you're out there with the road trainer, you're getting paid $90 per day, or $630 weekly if you like looking at it that way. But our trainers, they are very hands-on, everyone. They really are. They have to be with us before they can become trainers for at least a year. It's not like team driving where, they're asleep in the back and you're up front driving. You're doing majority of the driving, about 90% of the driving, they're always up with you. And again, they're going to constantly basically show you the ropes, what it's like out there on the road. Showing you how to keep your logs, your electronic logs, showing you what to do, checking in, trip planning, when you get to a customer, also checking in with them. And they're going to show you, they'll do extra stuff with you as far as tarping and as far as the load securement. So they will teach you. They're very hands-on. Again, our trainers, they have to go through an extensive interview process, and they have to have an exceptional safety record in order to be considered trainers with us. So, but it's 3 to 4 weeks. And it's $630 weekly, which breaks down to about $90 per day. And that's if you have less than 5 months of over-the-road experience.
Absolutely. And what I like about our training program, as you mentioned, with being out on the trainers or I like to call them mentors, being on the road with a mentor for 3 weeks is the fact that it's not going to be like team training. How many times do we get asked those questions when an applicant selects a carrier company and then end up going to a company that they said we were doing team driving, and during the team driving, well, my trainer is sleeping in the back while I'm driving.
It's scary.
So isn't that something? Yeah, it's extremely scary because you're new to this industry. Obviously, you're gonna bump into situations that you've never bumped into before. So it's important that the trainer is there. So I really love our program. I think that our trainers, as you mentioned, they're professionals. They've been doing this for a while, and they want to pass on their skills and make sure that the new generation of Melton drivers represent Melton to the highest standards as professionals, and continue to take pride to be part of their team. Be very prideful of our team. And when you have a trainer in the back sleeping, and you have a question, or you're coming across a scale house and you don't know if it's open or not open, you have to try to wake up your trainer. He's not giving you any tips as far as what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, any encouragement. It's hard to learn, that way. So I really appreciate that our team, our trainers, our supervisors, they do a really, really good job selecting and making sure that we help you be very successful in this business. So we want to talk to you guys a little bit about the pay structure that we have here at Melton Truck Lines. Besides the amazing training, we also take pride on our pay. I think that drivers have a really hard job, and we understand that that's part of our culture here at Melton Truck Lines, part of our Tarp traditions. That's my favorite tradition is that anytime we encounter drivers, we treat them with respect, and because their jobs is hard. They have a very difficult job. They're away from home. They're away from their families, and so they definitely deserve all the respect and love and kindness and be compensated for their hard work. And so I think that Melton does a really good job as far as staying on top of those compensation packages. Every year we do surveys, and in the last couple of years, the drivers have got some pretty decent raises.
Definitely.
So can you tell us a little bit about what our paying package is now?
Of course. Real quick, guys, as far as the training and the orientation, I don't think we mentioned this, but for the first 8 days, if you're an experienced driver, you actually, once you complete orientation, you get a bonus of $5,200. So that's always good as well. So it's a good $5,200 for our experienced drivers. Also for inexperienced drivers, after you complete the 8-day orientation, you get paid $520. And then that's when you go out with your road trainer and get paid the $630 weekly as well. But that's kind of how the training pay is set up for you. Now I'm going to share a screen with you guys so you can take a look at it and see what our pay is. I'll go into a little bit more detail. Just kidding.
Go click on that.
Sorry about that. Here we go. Yeah, hopefully everybody can see that right there. No?
Do that share button right there. Sorry, guys, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty there.
Okay, there we go. Speaking of technology. Yes, guys, for the way our pay is set up, first of all, speaking of like inexperienced drivers, if you come on board right out of truck driving school, because we do hire people right out of truck driving school, we'd start you off at 46 cents per mile plus $50 for Tarp pay. After 3 months, you jump up. First of all, if you're not familiar with Tarp pay, there's certain loads on flatbedding that are covered. You're the ones who will cover some of those loads. We average tarping about 3 loads per week. You get paid $50. Last time I checked, anyway, we were tops in the industry in Tarp pay. So that Tarp pay definitely adds up for you guys as well. But once you reach 3 months of experience, you jump up to 47 cents. After 6 months of experience, 48 cents. At 9 months, 49 cents per mile. And once you reach a year, 51 cents per mile. Pay keeps going up. After 3 years, you jump up to 52 cents per mile. We cap out at like 57 cents per mile. And that still doesn't include any bonuses or anything like that. So people who are experienced, if you come on with those certain amount of experience, say for example 6 months of experience, we'd start you off at 48 cents per mile, and that's over the road experience, of course. We also recommend getting a hazmat endorsement. You do get an extra 6 cents per mile when you haul hazmat loads. Also, if you're willing and eligible to go into Canada, you get an extra 6 cents per mile as well. So it's always good, guys, too. It's another way to make extra money. So we recommend getting a hazmat, getting Canada if you're eligible to go and wanting to go. It's just another way for you guys to make money.
Absolutely.
Something that's important about our cents per mile as well is that not every company is going to do this, and not every driver realizes to ask. But one thing that is important about our pay, not only do you get a really good cents per mile, but we pay you the exact same loaded and empty. Okay, so basically, if your truck's moving, you're making money. It doesn't matter if you have a load on the back or not, you're getting paid the exact same. So we pay our guys the exact same loaded and empty. Okay, that's just important. So any company you look at, you want to find out if they're going to pay your empty miles or your deadhead miles. We also, if you do over dimensional size loads, you get an extra 16 cents per mile. So that's another good thing as well, another way to make money. But you can get safety bonuses and fuel bonuses throughout the year as well. You know, those are pretty self-explanatory, but you can get up to like usually an extra $5,400 a year with safety and fuel bonuses. So it's just another way, guys, to make money if money is a motivator for you. There's a lot of potential to grow and to advance, and the farther you grow with Melton, the more money you can make with us.
Absolutely. What I like about our pay package, compensation package, especially for our trainees, is the fact that, you know, our drivers, a driver with 3 years of driving experience, start at 52 cents per mile, right? Let's say a trainee comes in at 46 cents per mile and he's getting his pay increases. Well, once he runs, 120,000 Melton miles, automatically goes to 52 cents a mile. And drivers actually that are applied in the discipline and time, they plan time management, and they become very efficient at their job, could actually make that. They could do within a year and a half. They would average those miles, and automatically you're automatically giving yourself a pay raise. And so you'll be making the same amount of money that a 3-year-old experienced driver is making, with cutting that in half. Technically, if you're in it for the long-term commitment with Melton, you know, if you decide to stay here for the year time frame. And I think one of the things that we always want to talk, that I talk to our trainees whenever we're in the field, that don't mainly focus on your miles weekly, you know, kind of break them down monthly, you know, and then you want to see what your average miles are and what are you making. Because the problem in this industry sometimes is that sometimes the driver focuses too much on every week. And so when we said drivers are averaging 23 to 2,500 miles, an example. Well, they're going to expect that every week, right?
Mhm.
But some weeks you probably average 3,000.
Yeah.
Maybe other weeks you might average 3,300. Other weeks you might average 2,100, right?
Yeah.
So when you add those miles together and break them down in 4 weeks or 5 weeks, depending on the month, then you're going to see what is your average.
Yeah.
And so we don't want you just to focus on the miles per se, but as Nick mentioned as well, you could make extra money with us, extra opportunities by hauling over dimensional loads. Try to get all your endorsements if you don't have them. I always see those endorsements as a self-investment with a return. You know, you're investing in yourself and you're going to get a return. If you haul any hazardous material, 6 cents more. You know, if you do any Canadian load, 6 cents more. If you get your tankers endorsement, that helps you have the ability to pick up other freight that some other drivers don't. So don't mainly focus on miles. There's other ways to make more money potentially by, you know, even if you only average 2,200 miles a week, but if you haul hazmat, you did some Canada loads, so you're adding extra pay on top of that.
Yeah. You're going to get even more miles that way.
Absolutely. And so that's what I love about our paying package here. Did we mention already our tuition reimbursement?
No, we didn't. That's what I was going to say was we do offer a tuition reimbursement now for our people right out of school. What's awesome about that is that we've actually upped it up to $10,000 you're reimbursed for tuition for your school.
I'm super, super excited about that.
Yeah. You get what we do is we pay that directly to you. We pay you $150 monthly. Up to $10,000. So it's up for you to pay the school with that. But yeah, it's up now. Instead of, it was 5,000, I think, but I think we've upped it now to 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. That's really exciting.
Guys, we also, as far as I think I mentioned the Canada runs and of course the hazmat runs, also we have, you know, layover pay as well, which is $50 on the first 24 hours, $75 each additional day after that. And then we also have detention pay starting at $15 starting on the 3rd hour. So quite a bit of ways to make money if that is a motivator for you guys. It really is. A lot of ways to make money. And like Monica said, you know, the more endorsements you have, even like a TWIC card, you can get even more money, even more miles. Same with Canada and same with hazmat runs. Monica's going to talk a little bit right now about our benefits that we offer.
Yes, I really, really love our benefits, Nick. I am really, really grateful to be part of this team and be part of this family. I don't think that there's a lot of carrier companies out there that offer what we offer as far as our benefits. When it comes to our clinics, our free clinics here in Tulsa, our gyms here in Tulsa, and just besides that, I think that those are just additional perks that we get, and we're very grateful and to be here in Tulsa and that our drivers could take advantage of that benefit as well. But as far as our health insurance, 401k, we have flex spending accounts, life insurance. It's phenomenal. I personally love our 401k.
Yeah, it's really good for 401k.
Melton matches 7% up to 7%, and right now I believe we're paying 50 cents on the dollar,
50
right?
cents on the dollar.
So hey, as my boss said, that's kind of free money, right?
Really?
Yeah, you know, if Bob is so generous and he is willing to match that, you know, I always tell my applicants, look, you know, 401k is an investment for your retirement for you, and if you don't see the money, you just have, you know, being deposited, and if you don't see it, you don't miss it, right?
Exactly.
And as years go by, you know, it accumulates, it accrues, and we have a professional team that tell us how to invest, you know, what ways to invest based on when we want to retire. So that is my personal favorite benefit that we have here at Melton Truck Lines. Our health insurance, if you are single, it is $81.22 monthly, and that is through GPA,
Group Pension Administrators.
Yes, and it's a good insurance that we been on that insurance for 3 years now. Pretty much, it's pretty good insurance. I think that it's really reasonable, and our benefits package is extremely reasonable. I think it's a great package. If you're single, as I mentioned, $81.22, so it does pay off to be single. And
right,
is that one of the reasons why you're still?
Definitely. Saves me money.
Right. Drivers and children is $249 per month. Drivers and spouse is 376, 74 monthly. And if you have family, doesn't matter how many children you have, as you, your spouse, and your children, is $405 per month. And so that is, I think it's great.
It is.
Because we get to talk to some applicants sometimes out there, some of the trainees, and they say, man, the company is offering me that insurance, but that is weekly.
Yeah, no, it's exactly.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, we're blessed. I mean, you'll find out if you do your research, everyone, we're about half the cost of what it normally is in the industry as far as our benefits.
Yeah.
And like she said, that does include full medical, dental. So, I mean, that's always important as well.
It is really important, especially, yeah, like the dental. And one another benefit that we have here at Melton Truck Lines that I don't think I mentioned, besides having our free clinic here with the fully staffed doctor, he's a doctor with their nurses.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a dentist that comes on site on Wednesday. Yeah. And that is definitely a great benefit to have, guys, especially for drivers. Obviously, you're out on the road making money for your family, providing for your family. And the last thing you want to do on your days off is just go to the dentist's office, right? So I know I drag every time I have an appointment to go see the dentist. It's like, I need to go on my days off and I got other things going. But what I love about our program is that they mainly focus on seeing our drivers and know that are priorities. So you're here, your truck is in the shop getting something done, the dentist is here, then you could get that service done here. You don't have to worry about it later. At a very affordable price, and our dentist he's amazing. I just love the fact that they're come here to our
exactly. It's here at the terminal.
At the terminal for us, so I love that. And then we have a hairdresser,
we get a barber,
right?
now, yeah.
And why, Jesus, yes. Where else? Why would you want to go work for someone else? That is definitely a great perk to have. So I love our benefits.
Definitely, no.
Very blessed to be part of this team. So, Nick, can you tell us a little bit about additional benefits that we have here and perks that we have for our drivers to make sure that we make their lives a lot easier and more comfortable out on the road? As
you mentioned, we have the medical clinics on site, and it's an actual doctor there for you, which is nice, very convenient for you and your families. You actually do not have to be on our insurance to take advantage of that, which is really cool. And a couple of our terminals, you can actually get some of your medication on site as well. So it just makes it convenient for you as well. We also have gyms on site at a few of our terminals. Take advantage of that. That's free to you and your families. We have our own personal trainer. His name's Brett. You'd meet him and everything once you come to orientation. But it can be tough to stay healthy out on the road. Not everybody knows how. So Brett's there for you just to help write out nutrition plans, exercise plans for you if you need him to. He'll give you exercises to do while you're out on the road. But take advantage of the gyms while you are at the terminals as well. It's kind of like a one-stop shop for you guys. We want to make everything as convenient and easily accessible as possible. So yeah, we've got the gyms, we've got the clinics, everything, the personal trainer. We also have like financial advisors available too. Mm-hmm. We have like life counselors available and everything as part of the benefits package. So a lot of things that is for you, that's available for you and your families, And even when you're out there on the road, and we'll get into home time in just a second, you're never going to be alone out there. You're always going to have somebody available 24/7. Somebody, safety extended coverage is available 24/7 for you. So take advantage of that, guys. We've got a lot of amenities here for you.
Absolutely. We want to talk to you guys a little bit about our runs. We get asked those questions every time when we're on the road. So Melton Truck Lines is 100% flatbed. We run 48 states. 80% of the freight technically would be east of I-35. Mm-hmm. So our drivers that are resident from east of I-35, they stay out on the road for at least 2 weeks at a time. You earn 1 day for every 7 days you stay out on the road. And what I really love about that package and that benefit here at Melton Truck Lines is that every driver is different. And so every applicant, every individual is different. We all have different lifestyles. So some of our drivers take advantage and they stay out 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the case may be. They earn 1 day for every 7 days. And if they don't use it, they don't lose it.
That's
kind
right.
Like rollover minutes, they used to call it. You bank this time. And what I love about the program is that it never expires.
Never expires.
Never expires.
No.
So when you go home, you take the truck with you when you go home. If you don't have a secure location where to park that equipment, Melton would assist with that. We'll help you with that. And so like that, you don't have to worry about parking the truck at the terminal and running your own personal time to be able to park the truck and make it home. You take the truck with you when you go home. If you were out 4 weeks, you earn 4 days. But let's say you had to get back out, right?
Yeah.
The extra day that you didn't use, you don't lose, you bank it.
You don't lose, you bank it.
Bank it, and after you're with us, you had earned 1 week worth of vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of our drivers, they take advantage of the paid vacation because it's paid vacation. And so they said they take a week and they might want to take a couple of extra days.
Yeah.
Well, they use the time that they've had bank towards that. So that is definitely a great benefit to have. And so I love that. As far as the drivers are west of I-35, the lease out time is at least 3 weeks out. And that's because, as I mentioned, a lot of the freight that we haul would be east of I-35. But keep in mind, guys, that statistically, drivers, they stay out at least 3 to 4 weeks. They're very successful financially.
More money to make.
More money to make. And we don't expect all of our drivers to do that. I think that the beauty about this business and this industry is that, especially with Melton, you kind of make your own schedule in the sense of how long you want to stay out, and you know, what are your goals, you know, what are you looking for, what's important to you as far as your financial goals. So the drivers west of I-35, they stay out 3 weeks at a time, and for every 7 days you stay out on the road, you accrue 1 day off. And so some of those guys stay out 3 weeks, some of them stay 4 weeks. It's up to them. So that's really, as far as like the West Coast, I think that some of our drivers love that. They, you know, the longer stay out, the more money they make. But the drivers east of I-35, they want to go home every 2 weeks. They're entitled to do that.
They're entitled to do that, yeah. East of I-35, minimum we need you out is 2 weeks. If you live west of 35, the minimum we need you out is at least 3 weeks. But like she said, guys, take advantage of that. You can bank up your days, which is really nice. So any days that you have accrued that you don't use, bank them up, use them at a later time. And we never put a cap on your home time either. So you do not have to take home time just in your home state either, which is kind of nice. In the basically almost every state east of I-35, you can take home time. So it's kind of convenient if you have friends or family in another state. You know, just take your truck there. Tell your driver manager you want to take your truck there. You don't have to waste home time days going home, parking your truck, and then find another way out there. So it's kind of convenient.
Very convenient.
Yeah, almost every state east of I-35, you can take home time. I'm going to get in now. Everybody talks about, you know, pay and everything. And getting the miles. Well, we know that one of the only ways to get that, guys, you have to have good equipment, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a little biased. We both are, but I do believe we have some of the best trucks in the industry. Our trucks are top notch, guys. They really are. We drive Kenworth's T680s primarily. The oldest we have in our fleet is just 3 years old right now. We rotate them out every 3 to 4 years. So every few years you're getting a brand new truck, which is nice. So all our equipment's up to date, but they all come with 15 to 1800 watt inverters. They all come with refrigerators as well. And some of the fleet has either APUs or EPU units in them. So basically auxiliary power units or electronic power units. Just allows you to idle without using any fuel. So it's important. I mean, they're good size too, 72-inch walk-in sleepers and 76-inch mid-roof. So very good size sleepers for you guys. But the inverters in there allows you basically to make it your home, you know, put a flat screen in there, you know, put a microwave. Like I said, it does come with refrigerators. Easily can support all those, the 15 to 1800 watt inverters. Yeah. But yeah, our equipment is definitely top notch. We want to make sure you're safe out there on the road. We do have one of the top safety scores in the industry. You got to have good equipment to be able to have a good safety score. So we take pride in our equipment. They're mainly, like I said, Kenworth T680s.
Yeah, I think that absolutely, like you said, I think that we take pride in our equipment, and we're very blessed that Bob, you know, invests most of the time in our equipment. Not most of the time, we invest in our equipment because that is our top priority. Not just for our drivers' safety and also for their comfort, but also that's how, as a company, we make money, and that's how we keep our excellent CSA score as well, making sure that we stay on top of that. And it's part of also the benefit that we have here at Melton Truck Lines. You know, we allow you to bring a rider. So if you want to bring your spouse, a friend with you, ride with you on the truck, there's enough space for both of you. Even for a pet, we allow you to have a dog or a cat. You know, that's one of the benefits that you get to have here. So a lot of our drivers take advantage of that. They have their spouse with them. They bring their pet with them, a dog. On the dogs, we allow you to bring a dog. There's no restrictions as far as the breed, but as far as the weight is 90 pounds. And so we're not going to put them in a scale and say you got to put your dog in a diet, but if he looks like a miniature horse, then might say something. But that's a great program to have. Not everyone allows drivers to have pets in the trucks because of the, they might destroy the truck. And as we all know, equipment is not cheap. We all know that when you buy a personal vehicle, I mean, prices skyrocket. You know, you're like, so trucks are not cheap. So I think that we are very prideful to have great equipment for our drivers, and it's key, guys. I was just off before I got into this meeting. I was on the phone with a driver who's been on the road for a long time, and one of the things that he did mention to me, he was a flatbedder, and he said, you know what, I don't remember once bump into a Melton driver where their equipment was not up to date. He said, I've never seen a Melton truck broke down in the middle of the road, and he said that's been my troubles in the last couple of years in trying to find a company that takes care of their equipment. So I said, well, what are you waiting on? I sign you up right now. So I think that that's definitely a great perk to have here at Melton Truck Lines. Nick, can you, before we get into the questions, can you talk a little bit about our OJ program that we have here for the military, which we're very proud of, and just hired a new military field recruiter that we're super excited to have in our team.
Definitely. No, we just, like she said, we just hired a military recruiter. His name's Jeff Hart. If you do an application and you're a veteran, he'll be in touch with you and talk to you a little bit more about it. But it's an OJT program, on the job training program. It's a 2-year-long program, which is nice. Basically, it just allows you to get extra benefits, extra pay each month. Sometimes it can be up to an extra $2,400 on pay, depending on how much of your GI Bill you have left and everything. They look at that, and I think they give you a percentage of pay like that. So Jeff will be in touch with you more about that, find out what you're eligible for, how much you're eligible for, everything like that. But it's an on-the-job training. We do have a lot of veterans that work with us. You guys are used to hard work anyway, so that's why a lot of military people or veterans are definitely used to hard work. So
very successful with us here at Melton Truck Lines.
They're used to. So they don't mind the hard work with flatbedding.
Yeah, and take advantage also if you're using your bill to pay for your CDL training. We also reimburse as well for that up to the $10,000. So take advantage of that if you are using your benefit to pay for your school. We offer that program here where we are able to reimburse you if you're using your GI Bill for those purposes. So we're gonna dive into the questions now.
Yeah.
And so
answer some questions.
And so we're going to go ahead and answer some questions for you. So if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and click on the right-hand side.
Upper right-hand corner.
Right-hand corner, and type in your questions. We're super excited and be able to answer any questions that we can. And if we don't know that answer, we'll call somebody to know.
Yeah,
we'll
find somebody.
Knows people, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll find somebody. But no, anything that we missed, guys, that you might be interested in knowing about, please write some questions out for us. Okay, diving right in. It looks like somebody asked us if I have to do an internship, being a recent grad from a trucking school, and need 240 clock hours of training, will my mentor or driver leader sign my paperwork?
That's a good question. I don't know. We never had that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you've already got, you have to already
have your CDL,
you already have,
right?
You already have to have your CDL, your Class A license, and graduated from truck driving school. But yeah, if you do need something for your school, I mean, definitely our trainer out there can sign off on it for you. But I mean, you do have to graduate from school, test out and obtain your Class A CDL before you're eligible to drive for us.
I love this question. I love this question. I get this question asked all the time. So our question here is like, do you do a hair follicle as well as a urinalysis test? Yes, we do. We're not here to judge anyone, but we go back 3 months on our hair follicle drug screening, and it's part of our company policy here at Melton Truck Lines. So yes, we do.
Yeah. Just ask that you be honest with us, guys. Yeah. Not saying that we can't ever work with you, but I mean, if we need to move orientation out a month or 2 months, we can do something like that. Just, be honest with us. We don't want you to come in and flunk the drug test. It could ruin your driving career, and we don't want that to happen.
We don't want that.
So,
We're here to make sure that you are successful and you have a career, not fail at your career before you start. So yes, just let us know, and we would help you out and have some advice and say, hey, we need to wait a little bit longer.
Somebody asked where training takes place at. Training, sorry, I don't think we mentioned that, but training is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And again, like Monica said earlier, we'll provide transportation, we'll put you up in a hotel, we'll provide breakfast to lunch. But it's going to be Tulsa, Oklahoma for experienced drivers and inexperienced drivers.
Yes, that's a great question. Thank you. Our second question here, do we take trucks home? Because I don't have a space for a tractor trailer at my home. Is what we're saying. So yes, you do. You do take the equipment home with you when you go home. If you don't have a secure location at your property, we assist with that. We'll help you. A lot of states, like in Texas, like in South Texas, a lot of my trainees, there's open lots. So a lot of the times they ask the owners, can I park my truck there? Is there like a fee? We would assist with that. Truck stops nowadays also allow you to park there. We consider that a secure location, and some of the truck stops charge you now for parking. So yes, you take the truck with you when you go home, and if you don't have a secure location where to park the truck, we would assist with that. Great question.
Somebody asked, it's kind of the same question, and what are some of our disqualifiers, and if they have two DUIs, is that a disqualifier? It really just depends. First of all, DUIs have to be at least 5 years old. That's something we can't get past, is they have to be at least 5 years old. Now, depending on what the rest of your application looks like, we can take a look at it and see. It's not necessarily, and it also depends on how much experience you might have as well. But we can take a look at your application if you decide to do one, and we can let you know if we can work with your 2 DUIs. All right. Again, some of the charges that we have are going to be, again, depending on how much experience one person has, and also what the rest of the application looks like. But some charges, they're case by case basis. Just DUIs have to be at least 5 years old.
Just for insurance purposes. So
before we can take a look at it.
Our next question that is coming through is they're inquiring if there's any plans for us to have our drivers from the Western states home a little bit more often. Not that we know so far. Our business model is structured different than some other carriers, but you never know, right? There's no really guarantees in life. So we work really, really hard to make sure that our drivers are busy. The main focus here at Melton Truck Lines is that our drivers stay busy, make money. And sometimes in some of the states, it's hard to get freight in and out. There is freight there, but a lot of the times it doesn't pay. We can't profit, and the drivers can make money also. So we don't do that on purpose. It's just the way our business model is structured. But hey, we're working hard. Our sales team is always working hard, finding more customers, making sure that we stay busy and consistent. So we don't know. Maybe that will be a thing in the future, right? That we might be able to get our drivers home more often.
Could be. We're always looking to
improve.
Always looking to improve. Right now, it's just 3 weeks out. Somebody asked what kind of trucks we have and what lanes do we run. Again, we mainly have primarily Kenworth T680s on our fleet. Again, the oldest, we rotate them out every 3 to 4 years. Right now, the oldest we have in our fleet's 3 years old. So that's very nice, very up-to-date equipment for you. We travel all 48. They asked what kind of runs we have. We travel all 48. Again, the majority of our runs are Midwest to East Coast. That's why if you live east of I-35, the minimum we need you out is at least 2 weeks, and you'd have 2 days at home. If you live west of I-35, the minimum we need you out is at least 3 weeks. It's kind of going into the next question. It looks like a guy asked if we have any local or regional runs. He's been away from his family in the military for almost 21 years. I definitely appreciate your service, by the way, sir. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Right now, we do have a regional run if you live in Oklahoma and Texas. We can have you home on weekends, but you have to live in Oklahoma and Texas. That's the only regional runs that we have right now, unfortunately. But there is a waiting list if you do live in Oklahoma or Texas for the regional run. It's basically running up and down I-35. And we can have you home on weekends then. But yeah, let us know if that's something you are interested in, and we can put you on the waiting list. But a lot of drivers start with us doing the out time. over the road, and then once a regional spot opens up, they do that if they live in Oklahoma or Texas.
Is our next question asking about if we have manual transmission trucks? I believe we don't have any at this time now. We're 100% automatics. We have common engines in our trucks, and I believe we also have added to our fleet some of the Freightliner Cascadias. I think
we have a few Freightliners.
A few Freightliners now, but we are 100% automatic guys. We don't have, maybe there's just a few of them. Maybe there are million-mile drivers might be driving. It does pay off to be a million-mile driver here in Melton Truck Lines. So.
And most companies are going towards, you might have heard the rumors, most companies, all the major companies are going towards automatics. So and we've slowly but surely gotten there as well. But like she said, majority of our trucks, almost all our trucks are automatics now.
The next question we have, I guess, is asking in reference to our qualifications, as far as incidents or accidents that would disqualify someone. As we mentioned earlier, we are nothing is really black and white. There could be some great areas. We try to work with that applicant and make sure that, we're bringing in the right fit. We're the right fit for them as they're the right fit for us. One thing that I will tell you though is Melton, we take pride in our safety department and we train our drivers to do the right things. So when it comes to safety, we would have to take a look, what type of incidents, how many tickets, what type of tickets are those, because safety is important to us and we want to make sure that we are bringing folks that are safe out on the road.
Yeah, I recommend, if you want to know if you're qualified, I recommend calling in and speaking to our recruiting department so they can go and look at your overall application that way. But I would call them, talk to them, and they can figure out if we need to get approval or something, we can do that. But I would just call them and tell them exactly how many accidents or incidents you've had, and they can let you know if you're approved or not.
Great suggestion. Absolutely.
Somebody asked, although training is in Oklahoma, can we work in Florida? Well, I mean, we hire out of all 48 states. We just don't have any local runs in Florida, if that's what you're asking. But yes, I mean, you can work out of Florida, but if we don't have any local runs, you've just got to be willing to, travel where we send you. We're in a regular route carrier, so we don't have like local, regional, dedicated runs. Like Monica mentioned, the majority of our runs are Midwest to East Coast, I-35 to the east. But, we will have some runs that would go west. So you'd basically have to be willing to go West Coast as well. We just don't have any local runs in Florida, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, so if you live in Florida, and if you could be out 3 weeks at a time, that's going to be the least out time that we required out of Florida. So I think that our next question, they're asking us if you, when you take the truck home, do you also take the trailer with you? And I 100%, it could be 100% sure that it is. You take all that equipment with you. You mainly keep the same equipment about 90% of the time, unless we have to repower the load or something like that, or the trailer that you have needs some repairs. But yes, you would take both. And the trailers, we could get authorization from your driver manager operations that if you're, feel that your truck, you do have space in your home for the truck, but not the trailer. We could get authorization where you could, park the truck in a secure location and in the trailer somewhere else. So hope that answered your question.
Yeah, no, well, majority of the time you're going to have the truck and trailer with you. You probably won't have a load, but you'll have the truck and trailer there. Somebody asked if we have microwaves or do you have to provide one? Yeah, we do not have microwaves in our trucks. They just come with refrigerators. But we do have 15 to 1800 watt inverters in the trucks, so that does allow you to get your microwave, and the 15 to 1800 watt inverters can easily support the microwave. But it will come with refrigerators, just not a microwave.
So I believe our next question that it just came through is asking how much weight do you have to
be able to lift?
90 pounds. 90 pounds. And we have some really good videos, guys, out in our Facebook. Some YouTube that we post every week, and some of those very informative. Shows you how to lift a tarp properly. Yeah. And so yes, 90 pounds is the minimum required for those tarps. Those tarps weigh up to 90 pounds. So if you're able to lift 90 pounds, and you're not going to be lifting 90 pounds every day, I think that a lot of tips that we get from drivers or current drivers, they mentioned that a forklift driver is there, they'll be able to put the tarp over it, and you just make sure that you secure it properly. And so, but there will be those occasions that doesn't happen. So we want to make sure that you will be able to perform our work and be able to lift 90 pounds.
Definitely. No, it's yeah, we'll make sure, it's a good test you can do, guys, as crazy as it sounds. If you're not for sure you can lift at least 90 pounds, you can go to Walmart or something, get a couple of big bags of dog food, put them on top of each other. And if you're able to lift that up above you on a shelf, it's kind of a good indicator whether you'd be able to lift a tarp or not. We will train you how to lift a tarp, guys. There is a right way, a wrong way, a safe way to tarp. We know it can be physical. We know flat bedding's not for everybody. But again, we have females in our fleet, so it doesn't matter your gender, nothing like that. As long as you're medically able, physically able, there is an art to tarping, I promise. There's a right way, a wrong way, a safe way to tarp.
I get that question asked the majority of the time when I'm in the field about you lifting those tarps, and I'm like, you don't need to be Arnold, the bodybuilder, to be able to do our job.
No, you don't.
You need to just be finding your own techniques, right?
Exactly.
As you mentioned, we have different applicants that apply with us, females, younger generations. So I always tell them, you don't have to be a bodybuilder to be able to do our job. You just need to find your own techniques. And as you get proficient and you become more familiar with the job, you're going to find your own techniques that is going to help you become very efficient at your job and don't have to worry about the physical aspect of the job.
Somebody asked, are you required to take the snow off the tarp?
It's not off the tarp.
Like if, I'm assuming, if it's got, if there is snow on the tarp, you would probably have to take it off yourself to be able to, if you have to get to the tarp. But a lot of them aren't they in a compartment?
No, they're in the
compartment.
Yeah, they're in the box.
They're in the box, so it's not like the tarps are going. Now, I guess it could get covered with snow if you're transporting a load and it's tarped in, like the load is tarped.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, but so you'd have to clean that off while you're taking off the tarp.
Well, and what I like about our training program when it comes to the load securement is that our team is very proficient and efficient. They will show you how to roll those tarps. So when you roll those tarps, they roll up, and even if you don't put them in the compartment, I see that a lot of our drivers have them on top of like the header rack, what I'm talking about, like up there.
Yeah.
And so they roll up really nicely that even if it's snowing, the snow is not gonna stick there. So, but a lot of drivers, as you go on, they learn that in the winter they would probably put the tarps in the toolbox to make sure that they don't freeze or anything like that. That's a really good question. I never had asked that before. So
that's a good question.
See, we learn something new every day.
True. I got one more for you, Monica.
How often do you have to adjust the tarp? Well, I believe that if you do the job the first time, you have to stop and check the load every,
It's every
5 hours? Well, it depends on miles, I think.
Yeah, it's depending on how many miles.
How many miles?
Yeah, it's depending on how many miles. So it's normally every couple hours you would have to stop and adjust the tarp, make sure that it's okay. So it's normally every, I think, 2 hours that you would stop, and that's when you would check the load and make sure that nothing's wrong with the tarp, if you have to adjust it, or the straps or the binding chains, whatever it may be.
But we're not going to make any assumptions. We're definitely going to ask the professionals on that.
Definitely.
So if you want to give us a call, we'll definitely have an answer for you on that, because I do know that, like you said, drivers have to check the securement, not just the tarp, but making sure that the securement is still in place.
We'll get the exact.
We'll get that. We'll definitely get that answer for you.
Somebody asked if there's a dress code. We do not have like a dress code per se. I know some companies do. We do not have a dress code. The only thing that you're required to wear is like when you're delivering a load. When you're at the customer, you have to have some type of work boots and also jeans. But as far as like wearing a Melton shirt or something like that, you do not have to. We do, of course, have a store here as well that you can purchase Melton shirts and stuff, but you do not have to have. You basically come as you are. We don't really have a restriction or anything on your dress code, what you look, just mainly for safety purposes, you have to have, you know, boots, some type of work boots, preferably steel toe.
Clothes on?
Yeah, clothes on. Yeah, you have clothes on.
You just have to look professional.
Yeah, but just for safety
Yeah.
reasons, when you're at the actual customer, you have to have preferably steel toe boots and jeans.
Mhm.
But while you're driving, you can have shorts on and stuff like
Yeah,
that if you want
yeah.
to. So, and but no, I mean, as far as the hair or tattoos or anything like that, we don't have any restrictions on something like that. 'Cause somebody coming in. So
That's a good question. So our second question that we're getting asked, can you get a service failure? We're going back to the snow.
yeah, service failure if there's snow on the tarp. That's another good question. I have not heard that.
I have never heard of that, but you know what? We could always ask our safety department,
yeah,
right, and
I'd
find
ask ours.
out. We're not definitely the experts on that, and this is
yeah,
the first time that I have ever been asked that question, and I've been here 13 years.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get a service failure or not. I don't think so. I'm assuming you can't get a service failure for snow on the tarp, but we'll double check for you and definitely let you know.
I think that on our tarps, we do prefer for drivers, you know, if they're damaged or stuff like that, that it gets repaired.
Yeah, of course.
Because, yeah, it may be that maybe at that point, DOT would, you know, give you some kind of warning or something like that, and not just DOT, but just to be safe for equipment in the making sure that the product doesn't get damaged once we deliver that. So, but we will get back to you on that snow question again on the tarp. So,
I mean, we will provide, we do provide, like Monica said, I think we do provide the chains and the straps, the binders for you. Also, I forgot to mention this when somebody asked just a second ago, as far as we provide like hard hats and gloves. We prefer you have to come bring those with you to orientation. Now, if you don't have them, we do have a store here on site that you can purchase them there, or we can even payroll deduct it if we need to. As far as like a hard hat and gloves, stuff like that. A lot of people already have those, but if you don't have the money up front to get them, like I said, we do have a store here at Melton where you can purchase, you know, a hard hat or gloves. Like I said, we can payroll deduct it if we need to.
Yeah, our gear store is pretty good. And somebody asked you earlier about uniforms. We don't, you know, it's not something that we enforce, but a lot of our drivers buy, you know, from gear product that has our logos on it. So kind of being representing Melton and be prideful of the company. So some of them, you know, would buy like a T-shirt that has our logo on it here at gear, and it's a very reasonable price, you know. So, so some of the drivers would do that. Our next question that is coming through: are you required to throw chains? So I'm a little bit confused about that question. Are we referring to throw chains on the tires when it snows? Or are we talking about we use the chains for the load securement? Because we do use chains for the load securement, depending on the freight, like steel and steel coils and stuff like that. And if it's the question in reference to if we have to put chains on the tires when it's snow, because the snow, it's not a Melton policy, but some states do require by state law that you have put chains on them. You know, to be able to drive in that state, depending on the weather conditions or whatever's happening. But as far as our policy, we don't. And we let, if the road conditions are not suitable to drive, we're not going to enforce it. We're not going to make you, you know, drive in unsafe conditions. We leave it to the driver to make those decisions as far as that goes. So that is a good question, and I hope I was able to answer it.
Yeah, we kind of have a rule of thumb if you're talking about chaining the tires. I mean, of course, we have them on our trucks per DOT regulations. You have to, but rule of thumb is, if the weather's too bad where you have to chain your tires, it's probably too bad to drive. But like Monica said, unless you're in some states that do require you to chain tires.
And our operations department is amazing. We monitor the weather everywhere. We have screens in the office, and we're monitoring the screen, and we stay in communication. Communication is really important to us. And so we want to make sure that if you feel unsafe about something, let us know. You know, we're here for you. You know, we're making sure that we all have families, right? And we all want to go home to our families. So we're not going to enforce something that we don't feel that is safe. And so we monitor weather everywhere, and we know what's happening. And so just talk to us, and we will be more than happy to assist with anything that we can. So so don't feel that you have to do something unsafe, because
Definitely,
that's
yeah.
one of the things that our safety department does not approve of. That we have an amazing safety department here, and they want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So, any other questions? Anyone out there?
Well, guys, it looks like we're coming to the end of our presentation. Please, if you have any more questions, though, please do not hesitate to reach out. You can contact our recruiting department at 888-861-6181. That's 888-861-6181. Call our recruiting department there. They can answer any more questions that you have. We really appreciate you being on with us today. We hope to see you next time. And if you want to do an application, then please contact our recruiters as well in the office, and they can help get everything scheduled for you for orientation. Okay?
Absolutely. And if you're considering getting into this career, this is the right time to do it. We encourage everyone to start doing research. Find a community college, a school. There's a lot of community colleges now offering this type of training. This is an amazing career. You're gonna have to spend a lot of money, a lot of time to become a professional truck driver. So if you know someone or you're considering, please do the research right now. And we'll reimburse up to $10,000. They got nothing to lose. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us today and being part of our webinar. We really appreciate you guys, and looking forward to answer any questions, any concerns you guys may have, and looking forward to see you guys possibly maybe
hopefully
in the near future.
Hopefully you'll become drivers for us. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon. But guys, thanks again, and we will talk to you soon. Okay.
Have a great weekend.